दोस्तों हमारे चैनल को जरूर सब्सक्राइब करिएगा और बेल आइकन को दबाइए ताकि जब भी हम नए वीडियोस डालें आपको नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाए।
Hi friends, in this video we are going to learn about the for loop. Loops are used to repeatedly execute a block of statements, and for loop is an important one. And it is used when we know the exact number of iterations. For example, if you want to print good morning 5 times, the number of iterations is none, which is 5. And if you want to print the numbers from 1 to 100, here also we know the number of iterations, it is 100. So in such cases, we can use for loop. Now this is the syntax of for loop. We have the initialization, condition and increment or decrement. And then we have the statements to be executed. And there are these semicolons which separate the initialization, condition and increment or decrement. Now let us see the working of for loop. The working is very simple. First step is initialization and it will only happen once. And then the condition will be checked, and if it is true, the statement inside will be executed. And then it will increment or decrement. And thus the first iteration is completed. Now for the second iteration, it will check the condition. If it is true, again it will execute the statements inside and increment or decrement after that. And the second iteration is also completed. Now for the next iteration, it checks the condition again and suppose it failed. Now the control comes out of the loop. So it repeats until the condition is failed. Now see this example program to print good morning 5 times. So we have the main function and inside we declare integer variable I. And then we have the for loop and we initialize I equal to 1. And since we need to print 5 times, we can set the condition as I less than or equal to 5. And then increment part I plus plus. So in the first iteration, initialization happens and I equal to 1 now. Then we check the condition. 1 is less than or equal to 5, so condition is true. So it executes the statements inside, which is print good morning, so it will be printed. And then it will perform the increment operations, so I becomes 2. So first iteration is thus completed. Now in the second iteration, we won't be initializing again, but we directly check the condition. And I, which is 2, is less than or equal to 5, so condition is true. And we execute the print statement, so good morning is printed again. And after that, I is incremented and it becomes 3. Now second iteration is also completed. Now condition is checked again and 3 is less than 5. So the condition is true. So it goes inside and prints good morning again. And now I will be incremented and it becomes 4. And third iteration is also completed. Now it checks the condition again and 4 is less than 5. So it goes inside and prints good morning, and after that the increment operation will be done and I becomes 5. Now fourth iteration is also completed. Now the condition needs to be checked again and 5 is equal to 5. So condition is true. So it goes inside and prints good morning and increments I. So I becomes 6. Now fifth iteration is also completed and the condition is checked again. Now I equal to 6, which is neither less than 5 nor equal to 5. So the condition failed and the control comes out of the for loop and the program is completed now. So that is how the for loop works. Now see another example program to print 5 numbers from 5 to 1 in descending order. So we have the main function and we declare I. And then we have the for loop. And we have for I equal to 5, I greater than or equal to 1, I minus minus. So first initialization happens and I equal to 5 now. Now it checks the condition 5 is greater than 1. So the condition is true. Hence it executes the statements inside, which is to print the value of I and I equal to 5. So 5 is printed. And now I will be decremented. So it becomes 4. So the first iteration is thus completed. And now it checks the condition again and 4 is greater than 1. So the condition is true. So it prints the value of I, which is 4. And after that I is decremented and becomes 3. Now second iteration is completed. And now it checks the condition again and 3 is greater than 1. So the condition is true. So it prints the value of I, which is 3. And then I is decremented and becomes 2. Now third iteration is also completed. And again it checks the condition and 2 is greater than 1. So it is true. So it prints the value of I, which is 2. And after that I is decremented and it becomes 1. Now the fourth iteration is also completed. and it checks the condition again and 1 is equal to 1. So the condition is again true. So it prints the value of I, which is 1, and after that I is decremented and it becomes 0. So fifth iteration is also completed, and again when it checks the condition, 0 is neither greater than nor equal to 1. So condition failed and control comes out of the for loop, and thus the execution is completed.